Hey there, welcome to another Match Pokemon ranking video. Today I decided to torch myself by ranking over 80 different Pokemon water types. Now if you haven't seen any of my videos before, well, good for you, but I do some things slightly differently. So when I rank a Pokemon that evolves, I will only say and show the final evolution. So for an example, let's say I say Flygon is number 6. So while most of the time I only show a picture of the final evolution, 99% of the time I am talking about its entire evolutionary line. The reason I do this is because it actually cuts down time and it does make things a little bit easier on my part, because the majority of the time the entire evolutionary line would be ranked in some general area together. So personally I don't see the reason in me putting Trapinch at number 46, Vibrava at number 48, and Flygon at number 45, because realistically they're all kind of close to each other, and I think it just makes things easier if I put them all together at like number 46. So when there is a Pokemon that has an evolution line, I do look at each of its stages to decide where I'm going to rank it, because personally I think it makes more sense and it's kind of easier. Now something else I'm doing kind of different today is I'm actually including Pokemon that were cut from the original games. For this video there was only about 3 water type Pokemon that have been cut from the games that have actually been leaked, so I kind of just figured, hey, why not just rank those as well. Finally, something else I should say is that this is 100% my opinion. I'm going off no facts here, no data, nothing. This is just completely my opinion. I rank Pokemon with my personal feelings in mind, as well as how I feel about their designs. This isn't like from some sort of poll or something. It's not anything about how they are competitively or anything like that. Nothing about their power or anything, how weak or strong a Pokemon is. No, just about their designs and my personal opinion. And if you guys don't like my opinion, that's fine. We don't have to argue about it. You know, we can all have our own different opinions online. We only live one life, and I think arguing about our opinions is kind of pointless. Although that is kind of hypocritical of me because I do argue politically a lot. Okay, but with all that now out of the way, let's get into the video. So to start us off at number 81 is the Pokemon Bruxish. This Pokemon is just one of many in a long line of Pokemon that were disappointing in Gen 7. We were on a tropical island. Come on, do something that isn't this. Next up, we have Wishiwashi. Now this Pokemon isn't a horrible idea. It's actually kind of cool in concept. Like a bunch of small fish getting together and make one giant Pokemon. That's kind of cool. My issue is just the design. I don't know what it is. I just don't really like its design. At number 79, I have the Jellyfish Jellicent. It's just not a very nice looking Pokemon in my opinion. And yeah, I've never really liked this one. Even though I like the Femboy blue and pink colors, I just do not like these Pokemon's designs. Following up Jellicent is its natural enemy, the Swan, or in Pokemon Swanna. Now, if they wouldn't have put in a bra on this Pokemon, it'd be a lot higher, but they did. And I genuinely do not know why. Next up, we got a double whammy, which is going to be Barbaracle and Simipour. These Pokemon are just equally ugly and stupid in my opinion, and I hate both of them. Next up is Relicanth, which in my opinion is just a very boring looking Pokemon. And then there's also Quillfish, which is also very equally boring looking. And following up those two is actually a Pokemon that is kind of liked by a lot of people, and I believe you pronounce his name as Araquanid. Even though I don't know how to pronounce his name, I know for a fact I hate this Pokemon's design. But to follow him up, I have both of the Basculin forms. I don't know why, but Game Freak cannot make good looking fish Pokemon. And that's it for Pokemon that I absolutely do not like. Here's some Pokemon that I do actually like. And to start it off, I have yet another Pokemon that I cannot pronounce its name. I think it's Pyukumuku, but I might be wrong on that. Anyways, I think he's kind of cute. I wish he evolved, but he doesn't. If he evolved, he probably would have been better, but yeah, he's pretty cute. Next up is Castform, which is a Pokemon I don't hate, but I just don't like it very much. So at number 69, I actually have 2 Pokemon, and these 2 are actually Pokemon that a lot of people actually do not like, and they are Manaphy and Phione. I don't really like them all that much, but I don't hate them like other people do. I think they're fine. I think instead of Phione being like the baby of Manaphy, it would have been better if they made them like Virgin exclusives for Diamond and Pearl. I mean, they already do it with so many other legendaries. I don't see why they didn't do it here, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. It's fine. They're fine Pokemon to me. Next up, we have Alomomola. It's not horrible, it's just very forgettable, and its design is very plain and boring. Like, I like simple looking Pokemon, but sometimes they're just not done right for some reason. I can't really point out why. But anyways, next up we got the very first water starter on this list, and it's going to be Primarina. Now, this design's kind of weird because she's worse than Popplio, like far worse, but she's also a lot better than Brionne. So yeah, I don't hate her, but you know, it's not the best. Next up is Camarant, which is kind of weird. It's kind of boring, kind of, it's weird to me. I don't really like it. I'm not a very big fan of it. But hey, I like it more than the other Pokemon so far, so yeah, that's a plus, I guess. Next up, I have Golduck, which I'm sorry, but in my opinion, he is super overrated. People just put Gen 1 Pokemon at this very high standard, and they always defend it by like saying, oh, well, if Gen 1 didn't exist, the Pokemon wouldn't exist as a whole. That's not entirely true. No, there still would probably be Pokemon out there. And Golduck's not the worst, but he's just not my favorite. He's kind of bland, kind of stupid looking to me, but but I don't hate him. Anyways, next up we got the Pelican Pelipper, who is way better than Camarant in my opinion, a way better flying water type in my opinion. And then after Pelipper we got Dreadnought, which is pretty good, but he deserved a 3rd evolution, and Chewtle sucks. I hate that Pokemon so much. Next up is Luvdisc, which I know a lot of people actually really hate, but I don't mind it. And then to follow her up is Azumarill. Not horrible, but not really the best. It's alright. Next up is Ludicolo. I've heard people in the past call this Pokemon a racist. It was probably BuzzFeed if I'll be honest, but I really don't care. I just don't like his design very much. He does kind of look like a flaming homosexual though, I will say that. Now next up is Arctovish, and while I'm probably the only person in the world who actually really likes the Gen 8 fossils, I think Arctovish is just the lowest of all of them for me. I don't know why, I'm just not a very big fan. Now next up is Volcanion, but here's the thing, I actually like its design a lot, but I hate it because of 2 main reasons. First off, it was in the worst Pokemon TCG set to date, in my opinion. I think the end of X and Y was horrible, just awful. I could talk about it for days. Like, every time Pokemon makes a TCG set, they just do something weird. The last year, they always have to add something weird. It was Primes for Heart Gold, Soul Silver. It was Breaks for XY. It's just weird. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I also don't like Volcanion because he wasted my time. I remember when this Pokemon was leaked back at the end of X and Y, and I tried for at least 3 hours to get him in that stupid room. Yeah, that didn't work. So next up is Gorbis. Now, I actually like this Pokemon, but again, with the bra, just the bra fetish, I don't get it. Maybe it's because personally I prefer men, so maybe I just don't like that much, but take off the bra and the design would actually be really good. I'd actually really like the Pokemon a lot more. Next up, I have Kingler and Golisopod, which I just think both of the Pokemon are overrated equally. I don't like either of them. At number 54, I have Starmie, which is alright, I guess. I don't hate it, I don't love it, it's okay, it's forgettable to me. I just think Staryu is a lot better than it. Next up, we have another starter. Ooh, interesting. And that is Inteleon. I'm just so sick of bipedal Pokemon. They should have kept it on all 4s. They could have done something super cool with an iguana, I think that's what it is, on all 4s. It just would have been really freaking cool. But no, they made him go look like a gay spy that came right out of Fortnite. Also, Inteleon just doesn't match with its other 2 pre-evolutions. They just don't match at all. Anyways, we still have like 50 something more Pokemon to go, so I'm gonna hit you with another double whammy with Caracosta and what was it? Tentacruel. Caracosta and Tentacruel. Tentacruel probably is the best jellyfish Pokemon we have, like out of all of them, but that's not really saying that much. And Caracosta, yeah, he's pretty chill. I'm gonna do another double here, sorry, I just, this is taking a lot of time. But we have Huntail and Cloyster. I actually really like Huntail, he's a really cool looking Pokemon to me. I think he's actually pretty cool. He's just very bland, and I wish he had his own line instead of evolving from the, the clam. I wish he had his own evolution line. That would have been awesome, and that would have made it like 10,000 times better. And Cloyster, he's alright. Shelder is actually very cute, but Cloyster's, he's kind of weird. Next up we have Seaking, which is just very derpy looking to me, and which is why I really like him. Me and my boyfriend, we laugh at animals every night when we call before we go to bed, and he looks like a Pokemon that we would laugh at a lot. Next up on the list I have Corsola, which I really wish it got its own evolution, because even though I really like Corsola, I think Corsola deserves its own like normal evolution, but Corsola's still pretty cute. Next up is Octillery and Toxapex, which are both alright. I like Octillery a little bit more than Toxapex, but they're both pretty cool in my opinion. Toxapex is a tropical water Pokemon done correctly, and I really like it for that. Next up on the list I have Walrein, and now I've actually really hated this Pokemon for a long time, but I kind of grown to like him more. I think he's pretty chill, get it? But he's kind of cool actually. Okay, and next up I have Clawitzer. I like this Pokemon just for the single fact that he's just so different. Like, this is just a really different looking Pokemon. Its design is also very, very good. I think it's actually the color palette that really turns it off for me. Like, I don't really like the bright yellow and the bright blue together, and I think the sizing of his body could have been a little bit bigger, but besides that, he's actually pretty cool. And then next up we have Slowking, which is then going to be followed up by Seismitoad. I think Slowpoke is really cute, and I think Slowking's pretty cute. The hat is kind of weird, but I can get over it. And I like Seismitoad just because he was so much fun to use in the TCG back in 2014 and 2015. That was the card that really got me back into Pokemon for some reason, because between Black and White 2 and X and Y, I really didn't care. I had my binder. It was collecting dust underneath my cabinet or dresser for like 2 years. I just kind of left it there, but yeah, that card got me back in for some reason. I don't know why. Next up is Omnistar, which he's actually ranked this high because I really like like Omnimite. I'm not a very big fan of Omnistar, but Omnite's so cute. But I really hate the Lord Helix memes, if you can even call them that. I don't know, I just don't like them. They are about as unfunny as the Dancing Coffin meme. The thing is, Dancing Coffin meme is a lot more unfunny. It's just a really bad meme. Anyways, next up we got Barraskewda. While he isn't the best, he's definitely one of the best fish Pokemon in my opinion. The other ones just do not compare to him. He's really good looking and really good design. So next up is one I actually don't know how I feel about where I put it. It's Kyogre. I don't like him all that much. I think he's a little too overrated, but I do kind of like him. I like his simplicity of his design. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about him. He's good, but he's also just not good. I don't know. I like him and I don't. It's weird. But anyways, I do have Samurott ranked higher than Kyogre, which I actually do like Samurott a lot. I think it gets way too much hate. The evolution line is a little wonky, but you know, it's fine. I love Samurott. He's actually better than Oshawott in my opinion. I think Dewott is probably the best out of all of them, but Samurott is pretty solid. But next up is actually one of the very few Gen 7 Pokemon that I actually like, and that is going to be Tapu Fini. It's just a good design. It's kind of weird, but I actually really like it at the same time. I don't know, I just like it. It's a good Pokemon. Next up, I have the other Slowpoke evolution, which is Slowbro. Not much to say here. He's just kind of derpy. He's cute. I like him. And in my opinion, he's actually pretty good looking. Now, next up is another water-type Pokemon. I know that might be a little surprising, but it's Poliwrath, which, you know, he's alright. I like the other evolution better, but, you know, we'll get to that one in a bit. And next up is everyone's favorite HM slave, Bibarel. I think Bidoof's really cute in my opinion, which kind of helps Bibarel because he evolved from a super cute Pokemon. But, you know, he's alright. He's pretty good looking. Not my favorite, but he's definitely up there as one of my favorite water types. Now, next up is kind of a weird one because it's Lantern. And it's weird because he's really forgettable, but he's probably the best looking fish Pokemon out there. I don't know, maybe give him a third evolution would have been better. Maybe making him just more like, look at me, I'm out here, put some wings on him. I don't know, make him look a little bit more, you know, memorable. Either way, I think his design's fine. He's very good looking to me. Okay, next up's Mantine, and this one's also kind of weird because if he would have kept his demo sprite, which is this right here, oh my gosh, he would have been like top 5 in my opinion. Maybe even like my favorite Pokemon because that is so freaking cute. I genuinely have no idea why I scrapped this idea. It was so much better than the one we got. The one we got is adorable and it's amazing, but the demo was just 10,000 times better, come on. But nonetheless, I still love Mantine. He's super cute and really adorable in my opinion. Next up, we have Whiscash, which is another Pokemon I would have ranked a little bit higher if it wasn't for what he did to me in Soul Silver. If you remember, there was this little Pokewatch, I forget what it was called on Soul Silver, but there was this one station that would tell you what kind of Pokemon are in every area, and every day, always Whiscash. It would never not be Whiscash, and it was so obnoxious. He had a really great design, but for some reason, every day a new school of Whiscash came to Bell Tower for some odd reason, and I don't know why. But anyways, next up we got Quagsire, which is just a very cute Pokemon in my opinion. He's very derpy and very cute. I really like him. Also took me an entire year to know he was ground type and why electric moves weren't working on him, so yeah, that was embarrassing. Next up is Rotom Wash. He was just really overpowered one time in a competitive, but that's all I can really say about him. Not really cute, but he's kind of cool. Rotom's one of my favorite Pokemon. He's pretty cool. And Rotom Wash, he's pretty swag too. Next up is Dewgong, which is in my opinion one of the cutest Pokemon of all time. I could squish him. He's so cute. So next up is Sharpedo, which is a pretty cool Pokemon in my opinion, but I personally think he would have looked a lot better with a tail. So on that note, that kind of brings me into the next Pokemon, which is the first scrapped Pokemon on this list. And that honor is going to go to Jagu. Now, this Pokemon is just really freaking cool in my opinion. I think sharks are awesome, and Jagu just brings Shark to a whole new level. I really, really hope within the next few years, Pokemon and Game Freak bring back these scrapped Pokemon because the other two on this list are just as freaking amazing as Jagu. But yeah, Jagu is at number 25. He is very cool. Next up, I have Kabutops. Mr. Kaboo over here is one of my favorite fossil Pokemon. He's just plain and simple. He's just a very plain looking crustacean little thing, you know, whatever he is, he's just very simple and very cool. I really like him. Next up is a legendary Pokemon, Suicune, which is pretty cool in my opinion. Out of the 3 doggies, Suicune is definitely the best out of all 3 of them. The color palette is great. It's just very simple looking, very good looking design. It's just very good looking. So the next Pokemon on my list is Swampert. Now I am 100% aware that I am in the minority here when I say I do not like the Mudkip line all that much. Mudkip is kind of cute. Marshtomp sucks, but Swampert is probably the best out of all 3. He's very cool looking, and yeah, that's all I really gotta say about him. So to follow up a controversial opinion is another controversial opinion, and that is Greninja. And while I can admit he's pretty cool, I just think he's very overrated. And when a Pokemon is really overrated, they get a lot of center attention, which is, I don't like that. I mean, he looks great, but I just think he's very overrated. He's not really that great of a Pokemon to me. We didn't need an Ash Greninja, what the hell. Alright, we're making pretty good time. Getting down on the list, next up is Crawdaunt at number 20. One of my favorite Gen 3 Pokemon, Crawdaunt has a very nice looking design to me. Not only that, but Corphish is one of the cutest Pokemon ever. And yeah, I think Crawdaunt has a very swell design. Hey, what do you know? Match has an unpopular opinion. Next up is Vaporeon. Now don't get me wrong, she has a great design, one of the best evolution designs out there. But her popularity definitely overshadows other better looking evolutions in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, she's super cute, just not the best water type and not the best evolution in my opinion. Hippity hoppity, here comes Politoed. That didn't rhyme at all. But yeah, anyways, ignoring that, Politoed is next up on this list. Politoed is a super cute Pokemon in my opinion and definitely underrated. And unlike Mantine, his beta sprite was 1,000 times worse than what we actually got. So yeah, I guess we should count our blessings here because that was definitely a blessing that we got Politoed over Frog. I honestly think I should be the next Pokemon voice actor. Do you guys want to hear what I got? Okay, here. Let me give you guys an example of what I can do. This is mostly for Politoed. This would be his voice. Hey everybody, it's me, Politoed. Pretty good, right? Alright, next up is Keldeo. One of my favorite legendaries ever. Keldeo is just very good looking to me, but his movie sucked. So yeah, that kind of pushes him down a little bit. Okay, so in my opinion, next up is the best Gen 8 fossil out there, and it is Dracovish. He is just so derpy and stupid, and I love him so much. Now, number 15 is going to go to Gyarados, or Gyarados, I don't know. Either way, Gyarados is actually really cool. Solid design, fits perfectly with the Japanese aesthetic of Gen 1 and 2, and his shiny form actually is pretty cool. Following up Gyarados is Floatzel. It's a very simple Pokemon, just base water type. It's awesome looking, it's really cool, really good in Diamond and Pearl. Very good Pokemon. Now next up is a Pokemon that I don't actually know if it should be on this list, but it's water type Arceus. I'm a big fan of Arceus. I have a plush of him and everything, and I like the white and blue. I think it looks very good on him. Not the best Arceus type, but you know, one of the better water types. At number 12, I have Blastoise. Not much to say here, simple looking Pokemon, very good looking. A little overrated in my opinion, but he's not as overrated as Charizard, so it could be worse. At number 11, I have the last water type legendary on this list, and in my personal opinion, the best water type legendary is Palkia. He has a great color palette and also a great design to back that up, so he just looks absolutely solid to me. Alright, here we are at the top 10, and to start it off is Feraligatr. Now, Feraligatr's great, he's one of my favorite starter Pokemon, but what he could have been is just infuriating. Don't get me wrong, he looks amazing. He's outstanding, in fact. But again, he could have been something a lot better, and you guys will see in a minute, but still, he looks pretty great. At number 9 is Lapras. One of my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon, and probably one of the better looking Gen 1 Pokemon in my opinion. Lapras is cute, he's cool, he's awesome, he looks cool, he looks great. So next up is a Pokemon I'm not going to go over very much because I already went over him on my ranking every dragon type Pokemon video. It's Kingdra. He looks great. I think he's awesome looking, but I have nothing new to say about him. He's just really good looking Pokemon and I like him a lot. I've loved him ever since I was little and I still love him. Following up Kingdra, we got Wailord. Wailord is just so freaking derpy and cute and I love him so freaking much. And I absolutely love the fact that they just decided to make a giant freaking whale as a Pokemon, you know, until Sword and Shield. But that really doesn't matter because he's still adorable. So number 6, we got the best water type starter in my opinion. And that title is going to go to Empoleon. Empoleon has a great design. His typing of water / steel is like super unique. They could have just done water ice, but they didn't. So thank you so much. But yeah, I think his entire evolution line is just amazing and he's an amazing looking Pokemon. Alright, we are now down to the top 5. To top off these top 5 water type Pokemon in my opinion, we got Lumineon. In my personal opinion, Lumineon is the best fish Pokemon out there. She is super underrated to me and really forgotten about, which really makes me sad because she has a great looking design. And although she might not be the strongest in the games because she's just a single water typing, she's still really cool looking to me and I don't think she should be forgotten about. Do you guys remember how I was saying that Feraligatr could have been something so much more earlier? Well, Karusu is what I was talking about. Now, as far as I know, Karusu is the first Pokemon in the entire line, and it's the only Pokemon I could find in this line that has a name. If I'm wrong, someone please correct me because I want to know these Pokemon's names because they are so freaking cool. Now look, I love the Totodile line. Totodile was my first ever Pokemon back when I started playing when Soul Silver released. But I mean, come on, this line looks so much better. I really wish they didn't scrap it because Gen 2 could have used more 3 stage evolutions in the first place. They should have just put this as a wild Pokemon. It's like the pseudo legendary. No, Tyranitar was the pseudo legendary. Replace Tyranitar. Nobody likes Tyranitar. Tyranitar looks stupid. Anyways, seriously, I really wish these guys made into Pokemon. They would have been like so much fun. Probably one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, but you know, it is what it is. But still, I think a lot of people, not just me, would have liked to see these guys in the game. So for the last of the scrapped Pokemon is Anchorage. This Pokemon, holy crap, this thing looks absolutely insane. I think this is where they got the idea for Sharpedo. If that's the case, I wish they would have kept Anchorage because wow, his design is it's amazing. Now, I was going to put this guy at number 1, but since he's actually not in the games yet, or probably won't ever be in the games. I didn't really think it was fair, but I still really like him, so I think number 3 is actually a pretty good spot for him. Okay, so at number 2 we got Milotic. Milotic is not just one of the best looking water types, it's probably one of the better looking Pokemon in like the entire series. Slick design, great colors, looks cool, evolves from a stupid looking fish, and you know, it's just pretty great overall. Okay, so I have gone through over 80 water type Pokemon by now, and while looking at every single one of their designs, I don't think there's a single better water type Pokemon than Gastrodon. Gastrodon to me is just so freaking perfect. He hits all the right checks for me. He's stupid, he's derpy, he looks awesome, his color palette for both East and West Sea are amazing, and he has a great Pokemon cry. So yeah, in my opinion, Gastrodon is the best water type Pokemon. And yeah, that's my water type list. Now, you probably don't agree with it, and that's fine. We can all have our own opinions. This isn't the media. We shouldn't bash each other for having different opinions. What are we, a group of idiots? No, we're a group of intelligent individuals. So if you disagree, don't dislike the video. The only reason you should dislike the video is because my voice is stupid, and you know, I'd understand that. But anyways, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Surprisingly, I was able to record all of this in one afternoon, like 3 hours, which is insane for me. It can take me a long time sometimes, like it takes me days usually to record videos like this. But anyways, again, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, blah blah blah, all that stuff, and yeah, have a great day.